What's going on, my broskies? My name is Toadskii, back again, here to bring you guys yet another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and today we're here to talk about a character that I just made a showcase video for a couple months back. Obviously, on release, we got extremely lucky, pulling this character and getting a fair few dupes for him along the way. So I had him at level 4 Super Tandem for quite a while. Luckily, with the recent release of Treasure Map Olin, I was actually able to pull an additional copy of Sengoku from my 10 million ticket reward, which was insane. Getting him now to max Super Tandem, which is what we're kind of showcasing in this video today. Now, this is not a very complex showcase. We're only really showing a couple of different scenarios. First clip here, obviously, against the new Turtle Farm versus Kaido. The second clip against an arena. And the third clip against a Garp challenge. But I must say, this is probably one of the better Super Tandems in the game, mainly just because it's a boost that will boost the whole team, no matter what character you bring, which makes sense with the character considering he is built in such a way where you want to be using a rainbow-ish team. And if you had a Super Tandem that was only for a certain color or a certain class, it really wouldn't work out that well. Now, obviously, Sengoku has his own issues. I think in a lot of people's opinions, he's definitely a little bit more underpowered just compared to some of the other Super Sugafest exclusives or other Sugafest exclusives that we have received over the past few months. Obviously, there is quite a few issues in terms of his captain ability being underpowered in terms of the amount of gimmicks that it gives you. I mean, yes, he's a 5.5 times multiplier attack when you have one of every color. He also gives you a lot of health boost, but that's like essentially all he does. You know, Sai and Tandem are matching, 10% damage reduction, but it would have been awesome if he gave cooldown to make him kind of a speed farming captain, or if they gave him a really cool piece of utility, and I think that would have been absolutely amazing for this character, because the fact that you have to build for one of every character in his most ideal scenario means that sometimes you don't have the right characters to build with in terms of getting around the enemy gimmicks. So if he had an inbuilt effect in his captain that removed a certain gimmick by 5 to 10 turns, it would have been awesome. I don't know what that would have been, but just something to give him a little bit of something extra, to go the extra mile to have one of every color on your crew to get this additional benefit, probably would have worked out better for this unit. And furthermore, his super type only giving 1250 base attack to the whole crew for one turn is a little underwhelming, and also the special ability, I'm actually a big fan of the special, but there's definitely a huge issue with the fact that, you know, if you don't have one of every color, or if you don't have 4 side characters on your crew, or at least 4 side characters on your crew, then the special literally cannot activate, which is a bit of a problem. I think that, you know, you should have had one of every color, you get the orb change, you get the 4 times attack and orb boost to the chosen character, but then if you don't have one of every color, it's just a 3.5 boost instead. Another thing as well is that the orb change that this character provides will only occur if you have one of every color, meaning if you are running that mono side team, you literally won't get the orb change at all, which is a huge drawback for the character. I found that out the hard way when we have a look at the actual Garp challenge towards the end of this video. But of course, we're here to talk about the Super Tandem. So this Super Tandem effect is interesting in the fact that the condition does actually alternate, you know, obviously the deeper you go. At level 4 and level 5, the condition says that you need 2 characters that are either Sakazuki, Kuzan, Borsalino, Isho, Monkey D. Garp, Suru, Smoker, Tashigi, Hina, and also Kobe. So the amount of characters that you get access to that you can use is decent. However, the issue really arises in there aren't that many characters that are in this pool that have amazing utility-based effects. So that's obviously the biggest drawback here, is that, yeah, you'll probably want to activate this Super Tandem. Remember, you need at least one of those units in order to activate the Super Class, so going out of your way to add one more character to get that Super Tandem effect can be tricky at times, and also just due to the fact that you also want to have one of every color as well, so, you know, you want to make sure you don't have that type overlap depending on your crew. And remember, you're probably running double Sengoku in a lot of cases. You can definitely hybrid Sengoku Sengoku up in a lot of scenarios, but in a lot of cases, especially for like arenas and stuff where you want to use like 2 Sengoku specials on 2 different stages, which is very, very ideal, then in a lot of cases you really can't find good characters to place for the activation requirement of the super tandem itself. But the actual effect is interesting, where the top row characters receive a 2.5 times attack boost, and then everyone else receives a 1.5 times attack boost. So everyone on your crew gets a 1.5 boost, right, which is great. But then if they happen to be the top row, which in a lot of cases is just going to be Sengoku, then it's still a 2.5 boost, which is crazy, right? Remember that Sengoku being a side character, he isn't going to be receiving any type of disadvantageous damage. So at the end of the day, Sengoku himself is going to be hitting extremely hard, even if you don't have type advantage, as long as you have that level 5 super tandem activated. But of course, when we have a look at his crew, and you guys will see more importantly when we look at this arena here, we're going to be in this scenario where we can have Fujitora using his super type to give him the huge color affinity boost. We have the super tandem, we have the 4 times attack and orb boost, and this does a lot of damage towards an arena boss, right? So that's crazy, right? In the right scenario, this is a very powerful ability to have. But of course, if you're in the scenario where you can't put any of those new crewmates onto the team, then you're going to have to find some really interesting, weird and wacky ways in order to abuse the special ability of Sengoku to give the full board of slots, which you can abuse the super tandem mechanic with, but also trying to fit other types of boosts like color affinity, or chain multiplier buffs, or conditional boosts, depending on the scenario. Personally, I actually am a big fan of this character, and if I could go out of my way to build him for essentially any fight, I would love to do that. However, sometimes it gets to a point where the juice ain't worth the squeeze. And what I mean by that is sometimes the amount of work and effort that you have to put in to make a Sengoku team work, when you could literally use like 10, 15, 20 other characters that would clear it in a more efficient manner, it might be not worthwhile, depending on the scenario. But when you have a super tandem at level 5, sometimes it is worth going out of your way to try and abuse that instant content, and just to, just show the fact that, yes, Sengoku, he's a really fun character to use. But he's definitely not a top tier character by no stretch of the imagination. Of course, if this character receives a super evolution in the future, which I really, really hope he does, I think that would be really nice for the character, fixing some of his main issues. It is a little bit of a shame that both Garp and Sengoku V2 just weren't really well received in the community. A little bit of a missed opportunity there. And another thing that we really need to see about the Super Tandem Sengoku is we need the pool of characters that he needs for his Super Tandem and his Super Class activation, or Super Type activation, should I say. We need better characters for that pool of units, We just got Legend Hina, which is obviously a huge asset, as she has great boosting buffs in terms of an attack boost or an orb boost to Cerebral Striker and quick characters. Sengoku himself being a Cerebral, so he does receive those buffs, but also the fact that Hina provides the really cool utility effects as well. Specifically like 6 turns of attack down removal is really, really good, and she does something else as well. But Hina's a really, really nice asset, of course, and we really would need to see more Admirals come out that have more utility focused effects, potentially new Kobe characters, new Garp characters, of course, a new Suru for sure. Suru is literally one of the listed characters for Sengoku, and Suru hasn't received a new character in a very, very long time, and she'd be fitting of an amazing utility support. Like, it'd be wicked if we got like a new Suru that removes like 5 to 6 turns of any chosen buff or debuff. That would be kind of cool if we got a character like that it could be a little bit more flexible and you can use them in different scenarios to get around enemy gimmicks. But I digress. That's going to wrap it up for me. Just a quick little video just to give a little bit more highlights here to the brand new Super Tandem Sengoku. That's going to wrap it up for me though. Thank you so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to stay up to date with all of the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. But on that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.